Okay, hi everybody. I'm gonna be hanging out in my car for the next hour. So, as usual, when I go live, feel free to ask me anything. I'm pretty much an open book. Most of the time, people end up asking me, obviously, abuse-related questions. I also do enjoy talking about many other things. So, if you want to ask me something about travel or being a mom or I don't know, anything. I do always appreciate those little not so serious conversations that we sometimes get into over here. Other than that, it's Friday. I know probably a lot of people aren't going to be hanging out at this time on a Friday night, but I have nothing else to do sitting in my car for the next hour. So, yeah, I'll just be here. If you are new here and you don't know me, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. Oh, hi, hello. Hey, girly, glad seeing you live. Well, thank you. Welcome in. Oops. Sorry, Kat. I didn't mean to do that. Hi, Kat. But yeah, so I am a trauma recovery coach. If you don't know, I offer one-on-one coaching. In fact, I just wrapped up a session with the client, and like I said, I have the next hour free. So here we are. I'm a mama to a 5-year-old. I like to travel. I do a lot of things. So yeah, again, please feel free to ask me anything. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Hola, Kat. How's it going? Well, I always know how it's going. We just talked, so it's either gonna be okay or we just talked, so I already know. But anyway, how's it going? Oh man, I got that little lung thing that people get. Hi, Morgan. How's it going? I do know, yes. I'm sure you said this before, but how long has it been since you left your abuser? Thank you for asking. That's a great question. I have said it before, but that's one of those things that one of those like frequently asked questions that are like really important and can always be re-answered. So I left in October of 2021. So I think I'm like 15 months or so no contact. So that is lovely. I'm good. I'm glad I can join your live. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're here. I'm good. Going on a date tonight and feeling good. That's awesome. I hope you have a fun time. Taking me a while to get back to myself since leaving, Yeah, it takes a while. And I think it's also really important to take time for ourselves after we leave abusive relationships and, hang out and try to heal from it. Of course, I do not ever want to say anything that puts any kind of blame whatsoever on victims and survivors of abuse. But of course, after getting out of those kinds of situations, like we've got work to do. Yeah, a lot of therapy and healing. We've got work to do. We've got to make sure that those kinds of people with those kinds of red flags aren't getting anywhere near us and that we're seeing the red flags. Like we have a lot of educating ourselves and sitting with really yucky things and yeah, learning and growing. And that's really hard to do. It takes a lot of self-discipline to do that because so many people like we see with like our parents and people who are stuck in these cycles of abuse and they really don't have resources. And it's really, for a lot of them, it's not their fault. They don't know any better, but they're just going through life repeating those cycles. And, once we see the light, yeah, it's so important to take that time for ourselves. Hi, welcome in. How long did it take you to fully get over everything? Are you still trying? I'm still trying. So it depends what you ask me. I'm over my abuser. And I feel like I have been for a while because a lot of times when we realize that the person is abusive, like we're by the time we leave, we're already technically over them. I was over that person. Well, Kat knows I was over that person months before I left. But I'm not over the abuse. It took me a while to get, I'm going to get over the abuse. It took me months to feel okay. I don't like the word get over, and I don't want you to feel bad for using that term. I don't think we ever get over it. I think we just heal from it. And sorry about that. All my devices are on low power or on low battery, so I'll be able to stay on TikTok a lot longer than I will be able to stay on YouTube and Facebook. I have my laptop on low power mode. So hopefully it'll stay and we can hang out for at least, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. But I think that the power mentally that the abuse and the abuser has over us fades a lot in time. But again, it does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication to our healing, and not letting anyone else get in the way of that. And that's something that's been very important to me, was not letting anyone else prevent me from the healing path that I've been on since I left. So, oh yeah, it's really rainy. It's rainy and windy. It's really rainy and windy, which is unfortunate. I know, I'm still trying. Yeah, and you know what? Again, like I've seen some creators say like I'm healed. And I don't like to call people, like I will never call anyone out. I don't think I will ever call anyone out by name. I have like mentioned to some creators that have asked me, and I say I don't ever say healed. I always say healing, because I think that healing is a lifelong journey. And I think that we're always discovering, like we have lifetimes, whether we're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, we have lifetimes of trauma from childhood. I believe that we get trauma while we're in the womb, like whatever our mamas were going through. A lot of us, like when we were born, it was a traumatic birth. Like we're literally born into like a scary world. And so I think that for the rest of our lives, like we'll be finding things that like something will upset us. Well, why is this upsetting me? Well, let me like dig deep. And we might not find the exact moment that a trauma occurred, but we can be like, you know what? I remember when I was little that this really bothered me. I'm going to work, I'm going to work on that. There's always going to be like, it's not going to be day in, day out, and that's all we think about. There's always going to be things that I believe that are going to pop up, and we will always be healing. But I think that if you're doing the work and you're healing, you should be really proud of yourself, because again, a lot of people in this world just want to keep their heads down because it's easier. It's so much easier to just be like, I'm just going to keep plowing through life and I'm not going to pay attention to what's lurking below. But when we don't pay attention to what's lurking below, it comes back to bite us in various ways. I needed this so much tonight. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad that I'm able to go live, even though I'm limping along with my... I realized like right before I went to take my break, I'm at work right now, and so that's why I go live in my car, because I have a long break and my son's not here. So like, what else am I going to do? That I hadn't charged my devices. Typically when I get to work, I'm like, I'm going to go live on my break. I'm going to see my people. I'm going to charge my laptop so it's ready to go. But yeah, I am so glad that you're here tonight. Do narcissists ever make you feel like you're the narcissist? That is a very common tactic of narcissists and abusive people, to make you feel like you're the narcissist or you're the problem, or you have, like they can, some of them are smarter than others, and they can, I was told by one, I had a roommate who was something, and he told me that I had BPD, which I did not. But I was convinced that I did. I got a book. I read about it. I was like, I should see a therapist, but I was like, really didn't have a lot of money at the time. I was like brand new baby sign language interpreter. And I really thought that I had BPD. And then when I was with this abuser, the abusive partner that I had, they convinced me that I had disorganized attachment. If you have disorganized attachment and you have BPD, that's okay. Like, I'm not like, I don't have those, and that I would know, like, ew, I do not want you to feel that way at all. I love you, and I'm glad you're here. Okay. And you're safe here. But I don't have those things, but I was very convinced that I had those things. And so the same thing goes with narcissism. And then there's this added layer of it. Either way, because we know, like, obviously with BPD, it's a very difficult, or it could be depression, it could be bipolar, anything like that. There's moments of very difficult relationally, it can be very difficult. And so what happens is when they do that, one, they absolve themselves of what they're doing, and two, they make themselves a victim. So if you're the narcissist, or if you're the person who's doing whatever behavior that they're trying to convince you that all of, what they're doing is you, they're the victim now. I'm 35 with cancer, had to move back in with my narc mom. She's 80 now and she's still abusive. I am so sorry. Obviously, like, this is a time in your life where you need to be in a safe space, and you deserve to be in a safe space where you can focus on everything that your body's going through and everything. And all, obviously you have been abused. It's your mother, and being able to have like a safe, calm nervous system. I'm really, really sorry that's where you have to be right now, and that she's still that person. And it's weird because I like, my brain's like, she's 80, like, can she just calm down? And obviously, like, you are in this situation where like a healthy person would be like, I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna stop doing whatever I've been doing your whole life to like make your life easier right now. But that doesn't surprise me either, right? Like, an abusive person is an abusive person. Gosh, but I am glad you're here. And my upstairs neighbor thinks I'm the one who's the problem because of what my mom says to her. Of course. I walk the dogs every day, and today my neighbor sent me a text blaming me that my mom has to walk the dog. That's twisted. That's really like, has she seen your mom walking the dog? Or are they your dogs or your mom's dogs? Doesn't matter. Kat, you got that guy, right? Okay, yeah. Dogs in the cold. My mom eats it up. She loves the attention. It's so damaging. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And they do that. Yeah, well, a lot of times with narcissistic parents, especially moms, because I mean, obviously everyone's different, but narcissistic moms and dads, they can look a little bit different on how they like behave and stuff. But a lot of moms, narcissistic moms, are just like they're the perpetual victim. Everyone's out to get them. Everyone's against them. Everyone's making their life harder. Oh, woe is me. What did I do to deserve this? Oh, I gave you life. I paid for your school. I did this. I did that. Why are you trying to hurt me? It's just like a constant guilt trip. So, what? Okay, hold on. I'm getting behind here. Let's see here. I research narcissists and I just don't identify, but my boyfriend makes me feel like I'm crazy. I'm an empath. He gaslights me a lot and gets upset when I call it out. I also feel love bombed because he's dry now. I feel deeply and would never have anxiety attacks until I started dating him. Okay, let me get right back to you. I'm so sorry. Facebook and YouTube, I just want to let you know that I did just get, I have 13% left on my battery on my laptop, so I might disappear. So I'm going to go ahead and respond to some of these questions here. My sister was, and I also want to invite you, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you follow me on TikTok, or if you have TikTok or whatever, come join the party over here, because I will keep this one up for a while as long as people are still hanging out. So my sister was in 2 abusive relationships, and I would see my sister going through that because it was like they were doing it to me too, but I know they weren't. But watching you makes me feel better. Yeah, so that's another thing because of what happened to my sister. Thank you for sharing that with me. That's another thing. I have a lot of people who like maybe haven't experienced abuse themselves, but when you're watching someone that you care about going through it, it can still feel obviously highly relatable and validating. Your sister's not crazy, but just being like, oh my goodness, like, it's just so, I mean, and that's with anything in life. When you find something on social media that, or your coworker or whatever, someone shares something with you and you're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one, or I thought, like, I just felt so alone for my sister or for me or for whoever. It's always really validating to see that. So thank you for being here. My abuser always said I had something when I would bring it up. That always bothered me. It's very hard. And the thing is that, like, a lot of us have this little natural, like, defense mechanism, like, there's such a stigma behind mental health, mental illnesses. Like, we don't even say like mental illnesses because we're like, mental health. Well, everyone has mental health, but not everyone has mental illnesses. And I don't know how y'all feel about terminology. I'm okay with either one, but there's such a stigma. I don't need to go to therapy. Like, we were raised by these people, parents and our grandparents. I don't need to go to therapy. I don't have any problems. Everything's fine. I'm just going to sit here and watch the news every night and not talk to my partner who I hate. She hates me too, or whatever. And so, we were raised in a society where we are like, no, I don't have that. But even if we do, and we say, yeah, I have a family history of depression and I do have depression. Why are you making me feel so shitty for that? Why are you using that to abuse me and make me feel small and making me feel like I'm ruining your life? It's okay if I meet you and I say I have depression and you're like, I don't like, that's your problem. You don't have to date me. You can go. You don't have to date someone of anything ever, right? It's all of our choice. And if they're being upfront and honest, right? Because obviously with abusive people, they are not upfront and honest. They're not like, I'm a narcissist, I'm a psychopath, like I whatever. Why are you using that against me? This is not something that's in my control, although some people think it is. This is something that's in my biology. This is something that I need help for. I need support, and I'm doing my best, and I'm going to have lows, and I'm going to feel better sometimes. Are you with me? Or are you going to treat me like crap because of it? Then I don't need you around. Obviously, it's not that easy. It does not work that way. So please don't take my, that's not how it works. But like for real, no one should be using your mental health situation, your physical health situation, because a lot of abusive people will use your physical health as well to complain about you. Oh, woe is me. I have to do so many more chores because you have fibromyalgia or because you get migraines. What, you're ruining my life. Well, don't use that against me. I did not ask for fibromyalgia. I did not ask for POTS. I did not, you know what? Everyone's different. I'm going to have moments where I need to sit down, where I need to, I'm diabetic. I've got to change all my stuff here. Not sorry that that's inconvenient for you. I just lost my YouTube.